Unmute that one. Mute that one. Should be good to go. We gotta look into this, my dudes. If you guys just got this, we're gonna jump over pretty quickly to some details of this miner that I think are just false. Like, it's almost hilarious of how big the gap is here and how big this machine would need to be to meet these numbers. Get some folks on. Move this around here. You guys can see me. Good. That's good. What's up, my dudes? All right, so I wasn't gonna. I've been really busy trying to get some stuff done with this place, and I thought I would have a stream with you guys tonight at my desk as I'm planning a few other things. But I saw this NuMiner thing come out, and I spent the last hour trying to decipher what I'm looking at right now. This Mountain Dew looking thing. I don't think this is real. So let me come right out and say, I think this is a hope and a dream. None of the math makes sense on it unless they've made a breakthrough or this thing is like a massive unit where they've just stashed a whole bunch of hash boards in this thing. But the efficiency is what throws it off. The 440 terahash isn't all that impressive. You could get an S19J Pro with the right build out if you were able to add more hash boards and to just add more to the controller. You could get 440. It's a sizing issue. It's not a it's on what's the output of the chips, and we'll get into that here in a second. They're saying 20.2 joules per terahash, which is right on the alignment with the Intel and really close to the Bitmain, actually. So the Bitmain's 21.5 on the new Bitmain, the 140 terahash unit, and the J Pro is 29.5. So this is supposed to be 20.2. The new Intel chip is 18.2. So we're going to look here. Let me switch over where you guys can see this. And let's take a look. Let's move this little guy over. So here's what I'm looking at. So this you guys seen when I was speculating what the Intel chip. So let's go through the very basics. If you're just finding this stream, I'm going to take what is a known state of what the best on the market is right now of what we've seen and its efficiencies versus what is being claimed by this NuMiner, which let me bring over an article for this. So this article here is what we're talking about today. So this Business Wire article, which Yahoo Finance this little sketch sometimes because you can buy these placements. I don't know if this is a bought placement, but they're saying 440 terahash, power efficiency of 20.2, which represents a 75% reduction of energy consumption compared to the average Bitcoin miner, but not really. So 20 from 31 is the MicroBT M30S++, the Bitmain S19J Pro is about 29.5. So it's not too out of whack. It's right there around the Bitmain S19J XP, the one that's coming out that's the 140 terahash unit. But we're looking at, this wattage here. So here's the wattage calculation here. So this is where I wanted to take you guys to, of like doing some simple math here with this Mountain Dew miner looking thing. So assuming that whatever chip they're using, if it's the Intel BZM1, which is the new one that's not been fully announced yet, that's 2.5 watts per chip at 137 gigahash. Okay. For you to put the same amount of chips on the size of an S19. So if you had 3 hash boards and you had the chips in the same 7 nanometer build out configuration, which we don't know, you could probably get them closer with the Intel chips. Again, we don't know. But if you were trying to match chip size for chip size, same architecture design, you would have if you had 342 of those on each hash board, you would end up with about 46 total terahash out of the gate. Now you could probably overclock that and get it around 50 gigahash, or sorry, 50 terahash. So 46 terahash versus 52 terahash overclocked with a base wattage of about 948 for that many chips, where on the Bitmain setup you'd be at 342 and you get about 100 for that, because you're using almost 8 watts per chip and you got 270 gigahash per chip. So there's your differences there, right? For this to achieve the 400 that it's claiming, let's say, and it's saying 440, we would have to pump this up to 28, 25, maybe even more, 29, 5, 950. Yeah, so it's around there. So maybe 29, 25. So there's your total. If it's, and this is assuming a certain, about 11% overclock on the base chips. If it's 7 nanometer chips, you can get about 11% overclock on them. So let's say the base is 400 terahash, and then you have 444 terahash. You're looking at 8,000 watts at the Intel efficiency right now. So I'm giving them a little more efficiency. We're looking at about 18.2. So if they're at 20.2, you're looking more than this. You're looking about 83 or 8,400 watts, which, I mean, is a completely custom configuration to be pulling like 8,900 watts, or 8,100 watts even. At a base wattage based on that, 400 terahash, using the efficiency of the Intel, which is supposed to be better, you're still using 7,300 watts of power. So you're talking now of 50 amp connections, not 30 amp configurations. So you're pretty much taking out any and every mining farm out there's config. So this would be all a custom config to run this thing. Yeah, I'm not thinking it. The only way this happens is if it's running like the Intel chips, or they made a breakthrough and they're just doing more efficiency than Intel. So yeah, bro, Mountain Dew miner, I'm dead. I mean, that's what it looks like, my dudes. But yeah, I mean, these are the numbers. It's got to be the Intel chip or something damn close to it. And I mean, so I can't even fathom what 2,900, like this thing's got to be massive. Like this thing here is got to be just gargantuan in size to be able to fit. There's no way. I mean, like, where's the hash boards on this thing? Like tucked away here? Like, because if this is a typical, like, there's no scale here. We don't know how big this miner is, right? But let's just say that if an S19 that has a certain size that we all know, I mean, it's about, what, 14, 16 inches tall, 13 or so inches long. Like, if you look at the length, width, weight, height of an S19, which is actually pretty dense, that's 342 chips. That's the chip count on it. So for this unit to be able to hit this using that efficiency, then you're probably around 137 gigahash per chip. You're looking at 2,925 chips. Like, how many times bigger than that is? I mean, that's a massive amount. Like 8.5 times larger? Like, if it was the same surface area design, like, that thing would be like 42 inches tall by 4 feet wide. Maybe it'd be a huge box for each one of them. I mean, they look like micro transformers using 8,000 watts of power. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think, and it's liquid cool. I mean, it's got to be a scam. They got to be just trying to pump those numbers up, pump this company up. So yeah, I mean, the basics are this article. If they were doing 440 terahashes at this joule, then it would have to be damn near either the Bitmain S19J chips with pretty damn close to that efficiency, and that's using TSMC's 5 nanometer. So they're going to be able to put a little more density there, but you're looking at 5 nanometer architecture. Let's say that's 5 nanometer architecture. They would need more than 2,900 chips. Like, my mind's not wrapping around on how big this unit would be. J Par says it reminds me of the Kodak coin miner. Eight times the average Bitcoin miner on market, said. Maybe that's where they got the 8 times at, my dudes. See, this is all this kind of stuff is hilarious to me. 4.5 times more profitable. Well, it's only 4.5 times more profitable because you have literally 4 times the hash rate because you decided to make a mini fridge for a ASIC. I mean, Bitmain, if they wanted to get into the mini fridge game and put ASIC, 2,000 chips on a single board for 8,000 watts, they could sell mini fridges too, and claim 4.5 times more profit. Efficiency verifies transaction integrity. NuMiner's solution reconfigurable AI chips to dynamically adjust the calculation target for maximum profits. This is absolute fake news. Like, absolute fake news. Somebody's marketing team got a hold of a machine learning AI marketing guide and made that up. First off, you're issued a target. Like, this doesn't even make sense. Like, if you're going to a pool needs to determine how complex it needs to send a job to you as a miner, because they have to bundle like little work packages for you to work on and be able to complete and send to get credit for a share, right? So it's just like you're showing up to work one day and you're like, I don't know what you're capable of. However, I'm going to give you a small bit of work. And then it gives you that small bit of work and you turn it around and hand it back real quick. And it's like, you know what? You did that pretty quick. Let me readjust your target difficulty and send you another piece of work. It's trying to optimize your effort of being able to solve a solution in a way for you to participate and earn shares based on a target difficulty. Whatever that just says right here makes no, like, what? utilizes reconfigurable AI chips to dynamically adjust the calculation target to maximize profits. I mean, what is that even trying to tell me? It doesn't make any sense. This is like marketing BS. Enhanced performance reliability due to advanced engineering, circuit design, component selection, and specialized material used in manufacturing. Like, this is like a marketing ploy BS. Like, this is a bold claim right here too. Like, nobody's even seen the NM440. Like, it doesn't exist right now. So for you to even make a claim like that is just 8 times the average Bitcoin miner on market. 4 times the current available market leader. Yeah, this is all marketing crap. And the Sphere 3D, like, who is this company? Like, oh, the $1.7 billion? Who are we? Like, they're Toronto headquarters. Founded January 1st, 2009. That's ironic. They had a bump in their price. 5 days went from $1 something to 240. This thing's gonna tank. $60 to company at one point. $2,000. Holy crap! This looks like some altcoins. This looks like some old school altcoins. Just dead on the line. There's some bag holders trying to pump something. Sean Hill with $25 super chat. Nice to see you, Carter. It's been running all over the country. That time to see your live streams. My bro, my dude. We're using that meter like crazy, my dude. You'd be proud. Yeah, so this, like, how does a company that's running a stock for this long drop $1.7 billion in commitment for some miners? Like, this is, I wouldn't be surprised if this gets under some kind of investigation. Like, all of this thing is sending up every red flag. The only truth piece here right now that what I'm seeing is this, which if they're in Canada, they are going to be using renewable. I don't know. I'm talking a lot of smack on this company. I usually don't talk smack on companies, but this is just not, none of the math is making sense. You get a company that doesn't even have a product out for us to see, for us to show, and then you're telling me another company is going to spend $1.7 billion on it, and it's not even been a proof of concept's been out there. That's not the way this works. Like, I do not believe this on a company that hasn't had any kind of price movement since essentially the like 15. Doesn't make any sense. I would just say, if you see anybody trying to say that they have access to this or they're trying to sell you it and you get you the insider thing, you're going to get scammed. Do not fall for any NM440 Bitcoin miners, somebody saying that they're selling them. You're not going to get it and your money's going to be gone. So just don't do it. until this company actually puts out some content around it and then sends it to some independent people. Like, there's no way that this is a real thing. The math doesn't add up unless they had access to these chips, which are from Intel, the BZM1s, which they haven't fully announced yet. That's the only ones that are close to that efficiency, 18.2, but they would need 2,900 chips. And S19 has 342 chips. There's just no way. Like 2,000 chips. It makes me want to do a draw.io diagram to put what that would even look like. Like, you would have to put, like, even if you put 100 chips per board, and let's say the wafer board plus the heat sinks were an inch, you're talking 100, like 100 inches, right? 12, like 8. That's too big. You're cooling. That would be like that's literally like 40 inches wide and like 42 inches tall, and probably because the cooling and this is supposed to be water cooled, like maybe 25 inches depth. So you would have like essentially a mini fridge. If you can imagine a mini fridge filled with hash boards. And I mean, just this render here does not show any kind of any kind of cooling. I see piping, and I see what looks like a manifold towards the back of the image, but I don't see any kind of heat exchanging going on. Like, this looks like it's just a bad case. Like, what's this circular thing where the liquid sits? Like, no idea. This is like this. None of this drawing makes any sense at all. And what's this like kind of sideways thing? And all these like little hooks here. Like, are these individual hash boards? And then what are these? Like none of this makes sense at all. Like, none of it. I mean, it looks like a car manifold. I mean, like, who made this design? Like, if I blow this up, like, this grate doesn't make sense. These little swing latches don't make any sense. Oh, you're gonna pull this out? It's gonna pull this. Like, this stuff looks all connected. Like, it doesn't make any sense, my dudes. This is so bad. Oh man, it's so bad. Mountain Dew Miner. That's what it will be called from now on. All right, my dudes. I just thought I'd get on real quick 20-minute stream and just try to get some numbers out here for you. These are the numbers I could come up with. Like, it doesn't make sense. 440 would be 8100 watts at the Intel efficiency. If it's at this efficiency, like, you're 10,000 plus watts almost for 440 hash. All right, my dudes. Yeah, I'm gonna wrap up. We got a couple big we got a couple like test machines here we're gonna take with you guys. Let me see if I can bring something to show you guys real quick. Got let's see here. We got show you guys. I got some testing rigs here, running a few different things. So those are test center machines that are running here. Get the kiddo in the background. So we got the 3080 rig here. And some Roswell 5700 XTs. So we're gonna take you guys through some of the XTs. And then we're gonna take you guys through a 6700 XT. So I got Razor doing a couple different builds for you guys. We're gonna do a 5700 versus a 5600. And then a 5700 versus the new 6700 XTs coming up for you guys. And then you guys can see the Mega Rig here. Which is the 3080s. Right now I'm running them a little low on, I'm only running them at 230 watts because it keeps them nice and cool. And they're getting anywhere from 35 to 44 mega hash, so it's 430. And then we got some 3060 Ti's running. And I think that was it. We had the mix rig with some the A5000, a 3070, and a 3080 Ti. We're doing some solo mining right now with a Ravencoin, trying to win some blocks. Just a few things that we got set up for you guys. I think it'll be a good weekend to take you guys through some of the setups that we got going on. All right, let's see if you guys got any more questions. Somebody yelling. Let's see here, just checking through. Marshall, it's the NuMiner. What's up, my dude? I think it's false news, Marshall. I don't think it. I think it's the Mountain Dew miner is I think fake. That's the numbers I've ran. You need 2,925 Intel chips to come up with those kind of numbers, and you're going to be running 8,000 watts, and that's with the BZM1s. And even if you were using the S19J Pros, or even in the new Bitmains, you'd be rolling a little more wattage. You'd be around 9,000 watts. State crypto, no, I don't think it's real. I don't think it's a real miner, unless they had some kind of arrangement with Intel and they're gonna. But that would be the discussion. Like, why would they even announce what they just announced? Like, it would be like, we are using the BZ M1s in our new miner. Da da da. We're at 440 terahash. They don't tell you anything about the chip. They don't tell you. They just tell you these numbers that anybody can make up. If it's from Canada, we don't. The only thing that was real on that article, my dude, was if that Canada has hydropower. And like, what were the other numbers in that? They said they bought 60,000 of them, right? 60,000 miners, which first off is crazy. Like nobody's buying no 60,000 miners unless you're like 60,000 miners. Okay, so let's take the basics of this math, right? So if you needed 60,000 miners, and let's say it was 8,100 watts each, you're looking at 486 megawatts of electricity. That they would become one of the largest farms on the planet at 486 megawatts. It's fake, guys. I'm telling you right now, it's fake, 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 and fake. The amount of construction that's required to hit 486 megawatts and where you're going to put that density at, and this is being 8,000 watt base config to hit 440 using, if it was using the best chip that's supposedly on the planet coming from Intel, you would be you would have to have a custom config of whatever mining farm you're putting it in. So the container build out would be all custom. The power build out would be all custom. I could reverse engineer, probably in a full live stream of about 2 hours, how they would have to build that, given the numbers that we know. And I'm going to tell you right now, it's probably 60 units per container, given the 40 inches or so they would need to build that miner would have to be. So 60 times 60 would be a half a megawatt per container. So the sizing would be off because you would have to have so much larger space. So you're only using 486,000 watts per container, which means now you're doubling your container size. So 40, yeah, none of this makes sense. None of it makes sense. So you'd have to have 486 megawatts to run 60,000 miners. That would be right there. Use your power profile, right? So your power profile, who's doing that? Because I guarantee you nobody's doing 400 plus megawatts in Canada. And then 60,000 of these units, and you could get maybe let's just give them the benefit and say if it was 30 inches, they could get 80 of them in a container, in a 40-foot container. So this divided by 80, you need 7,500 containers to put these in. And 80 would be 80 times 8,100 watts. So now you'd be just over a half a megawatt per container. Like the construction costs. Think of a container in Bitcoin mining like your mining rigs, right? Like you try to get as much as you can in the container. Like you want as many graphics cards on your motherboard as you can to be as most efficient, not have to buy more CPUs, motherboard, and memory. So the fact that you could only put, if my numbers were accurate, you could only put about 80 per container, given their size. This would have to be able to hit 440 terahash, because your chip count would be around 2,900. Then, yeah, you're looking at 7,500 containers. Like, I mean, a ship, it's like an entire, like, ship. I think ships hold 3,000 containers. A typical, let's see here, cargo ship container capacity. So today's cargo ships 24,000 container, 20 footers. So then 12,000 roughly. 12,000 containers. So you're talking almost an entire cargo ship if they were all stacked on top of each other, which is not the way this works. All these numbers don't add up. None of them do. Nada, nada, nada. It's fake news. I would almost say with high confidence after now running some basic due diligence. Basic. 35 minutes with you guys, basic due diligence. And before that, about an hour of me reading different articles and trying to do some research on it. And then another 20 minutes of setting this kind of sheet up for you guys. And then 35 minutes of some basic math due diligence. And none of it makes sense. Like, I think this is fake news. And there's multiple fake news. I think the unit's fake news. I think the order for 1.7 billion is fake news. And I think because for you to order this many means that you already have this much power secured. Because why would you order that many if you didn't have the power for it? Yeah. It's fake, my dude. It's fake. Fake, fake, fake. So hopefully it was fun. It was fun for me to go through the numbers with you guys. I don't believe it. Don't buy this. Don't buy it. Don't buy it, my dudes. If you get fake links about trying to buy the NuMiner, and I'm happy if there's any NuMiner people that find this video, I'm happy to test it independently, because whatever that company you sent it for an independent thing, nobody knows who that company is. So do not try to buy this miner. Do not. You're gonna get scammed. You're gonna get your money taken. That's it, my dudes. All right, I'm gonna wrap this one up. Hopefully it was fun and good and all that. And we'll get back to some regularly scheduled product reviews of things that I bought and that are here and that we can observe and report with you guys. All right, my dudes.